Welcome to the finale of our deep dive into the Guilty Gear lore. But before you skip to the reaction, just so that we don't get any more comments about this, we will be streaming Guilty Gear Strive. So we probably won't be reacting to the Guilty Gear Strive story. We'll just experience it live right here on the channel. We do live stream video games here if you guys haven't seen it on the homepage. If you're interested, check it out. I'll likely have a link to the actual stream in the pinned comment, depending whenever I can set that up. Actually, how goes the thumbnail, Serby? I
needed to ask you, do you want a cool thumbnail or a funny thumbnail? Because I have two that I've been debating between.
Oh, no.
And I need someone to make my final decision for me.
Well, I suppose we'll discuss that more in detail afterwards. I need to know more details. Yeah. But alright, my dudes. As always, please make sure to go support Wooly. The link to the OG video is always at the top of the description, so make sure to do that before watching the reaction. And now, let's get right into it.
Once upon a time, when magic did not yet exist in this world, a single philosopher discovered a world, the backyard. The backyard ruled all things in the universe. From within it, one could understand any truth, or even bend the world as he pleases.
Dinosaur.
The philosopher thought that in this place, a single dream may come true. That was for the peace of mankind. He wished for it to last forever.
Well, clearly this philosopher did not understand mankind's inherent nature. Oh, man. Why do we have to be such creatures?
Evolution?
Of course, that would be the fish's answer.
To understand how that may be done, the philosopher creates a single robot. The directive was clear: to find a path of eternal happiness for mankind.
That's a big job to give for one little robot.
You know what this is making me think of? It's not exactly the same, but it makes me think of those weird, like, dream sequences or slideshows or whatever you'd call them that you see when you're playing near Automata.
You know, it's funny. I had the exact same thought because my first, thought was what's it? P33 or something like that. But they're not quite the same, but just the whole vibe of it is very near.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose the whole line of, him wanting to seek peace for all of mankind, for all eternity, and then creating a robot was just yeah. We always, in media, we always use these robots or AI in order to showcase humanity, which is kind of ironic that you have to bring something that isn't human for humans to understand themselves. But I suppose the more we look outward, the more we understand ourselves more, which is, it's a very strange quirk, but that's just how we function.
I mean, it's kind of interesting to think, because, if you're trying to replicate human, you would have to understand fully what a human is.
So, in the attempt to understand what a human is from the robot, we understand ourselves more. I suppose that makes sense.
For what the outcome, mankind was not to be harmed.
Well, that didn't work out.
Based upon this directive,
it is.
The robot begins to study. But one day, the robot reaches a block. What is
well,
mankind?
There you go.
How did it get so far
Upon
in its
further
studying without that question?
Well, it's not really something that you think about when you learn that 1 + 1 = 2. You kind of need a few steps further than that to be wait a minute. What is the reason for existence, All these deep questions that you have when you become an edgy teenager. Then later on, you just kind of forget about it.
Those questions.
Oh. Yeah. Well, we can't really use you as a baseline, Serby. You're kind of an enigma. You're like a glitch in the system. You have the same idea as somebody else probably existing, and you're not supposed to be here. That's my current theory.
Damn.
And that person is Kiwi. Although, well, maybe that's why Q is so incomplete. Because she's sharing traits with you. What is this lore? This dang VTuber lore? Oh, it goes so deep. All right, brain, stop thinking. Let's go, just absorb and learn.
Studies
No
and
thought, only
research, the
absorb.
robot
Yeah.
discovers the complex nature of humans. It believed it could not complete its directive until the definition was set in stone. Unable to define it, however, it came up with an interpretation. Humans have a soul.
Well, ideally.
While vague,
Yeah.
it was the only condition that the robot was able to derive.
But if an android perfectly imitates the emotion and behavior of a human, are they not human simply because they do not possess the soul? Can a soul be created by simply going through the motions? Or is that something that they will never be able to inherit? Oh, God. No. Oh, massive near flashbacks with this intro. Like, it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
near.
Huge deer.
Yeah. God.
I love it.
Me too. One of
And
the best
one
games
day,
I played.
After countless
Ever.
amounts of
Yes,
research and
because being,
calculation,
being near like is always a good thing.
Being like the game, not like the anime. You just gotta clarify
Yeah.
that.
I forget that exists. That I have completely erased from my mind.
the robot produced a most unexpected result.
Created
It was a future in which mankind, alongside advancements in culture,
Vtubers.
would remove their own will and choice from themselves.
Oh fuck.
Okay, and that ties back into what we learned last time about them wanting to create the new mankind with no free thought or will. But that removes their soul, kind of, in a way. Well, I guess if they're still alive, maybe not, but they don't really live.
I mean, because then you have to, if you define human by their soul, you have to define what makes a soul.
We haven't really thought of that, or maybe this robot hasn't asked themselves that question yet.
Mankind will dream. He will prize his purpose. And he will love. Though the robot assumed it was those very urges that comprised a soul, it predicted that mankind would one day strip itself of any impulse. Its directive was the everlasting happiness of mankind. Nevertheless, humans shall, by their own will, one day cease to be human.
Okay. Honestly, kind of fair. Considering the end goal of technological advancement, that's where it's going to end, but also, like, it's only beautiful if it's temporary in certain qualities. Stripping that away early and being like, yeah, you guys would have lost this anyways later on, kind of defeats the purpose of existing and living that out.
It kind of like, it's similar to the whole like concept of, can you prejudge someone for a crime that they would potentially commit in the future?
Oh, Total Recall? Yeah, I saw that movie.
My brain went to Moon Knight, but yeah, same concept.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's hard to say. I mean, this robot has access to the backyard, which in essence kind of knows literally everything and is kind of determining everything that's going to happen. So this information is more than likely incredibly accurate, but it still has yet to happen for the perception of mankind.
Though, at least from the concept of guilty gear, because you have to take into account, it's like, is there the possibility to change the future, or is fate predetermined no matter what you do? But we know Guilty Gear has multiple timelines and lots of different offshoots and things that can change, so fate can't be predetermined in that aspect. Therefore, you can't completely know the outcome of something.
Well, you do say that, but Ino has been struggling and failing to change this bleak future that she knows will happen. And she's been doing everything in her power. There are changes.
Even if we haven't completely redone the final structure, the fact that it can change means you can't know.
I suppose that in and of itself also contradicts the prediction, or like Ino's vision of it, Because if things do slightly change, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything will always end the same. And the end result will be the same that she sees, even though she can time travel and jump timelines and whatnot.
I mean, it could just be the fact that she time travels at all is what leads to that final outcome. Like, that could be her influence causing that.
It's the crux of the issue. There are so many stories like that where, like, here, we'll show you the future. Now you need to go and prevent it. Uh-oh, oopsie. The very act of you trying to prevent it is what caused it to happen. Sucks to be you. Man. Thank goodness I'm not in that position.
The more you try to avoid something, the more certain that something becomes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Jeez. Why is it gotta be like that? I guess it's just a fundamental law of the universe.
It's like Murphy's Law.
With the data it had produced, the robot could derive but one conclusion.
Create new man.
Humans do not yet exist in this world.
Oh, damn.
Oh, dang. Whoa, literal existence just got denied. Bro, you don't even exist to me. Oh. These aren't the true humans. I believe that was like an actual term, but that they specifically used last time too. Well, shit. What do we do now? I think I know the answer. We just need to punch this robot really, really hard until it stops. I learned that from Soul Bad Guy. He's my hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Upon this day, it began a quest to create a life form with a soul that can never be forfeited. What it believed fit its own definition of human. At that moment, mankind was no longer under the protection of its directive.
This is really sad because there are events where other human beings in history have decided that you aren't human. I'm not going to say the specifics, but you guys know who I'm talking about.
It's not an unrealistic statement.
Yeah. These were humans themselves that thought of this. This is a robot that doesn't fully understand humankind. You could see exactly how this thought process began and ended here, and I feel like it was inevitable.
It's like the WoW from Soma. It's like it's trying its best to compute something that it can meet its like condition to help humanity, but it has to struggle with humanity first to get there.
I mean, heck, the things that we had to do in Soma, even as a human, you can't determine right or wrong from that. You can only determine an outcome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's almost like morality is subjective and you have to define it for yourself.
Nah, everything's black and white in my opinion. Obviously, the bad guy is the bad guy. His name is literally Bad Guy.
Heaven or hell. Get ready to rock.
So ready to rock.
I've always been ready to rock. Oh, also, for those of you requesting us to react to the songs, I know it would be super cool. I think I would absolutely love them. I don't know what I would say about the songs because I know nothing about music. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like the reactions that we did to that would just be us like rocking out and saying how awesome it is, saying how cool it is, and then just and just ending it, which wouldn't really be a reaction.
Not a single musical bone in my body. I love music and like I can appreciate it, and I really love watching people who know music talk about why music is awesome. But I do not have any of those qualifications myself.
I don't know. Maybe sometime in the distant future, we all decide to pick up a new skill and learn something. And maybe that'll be something that we do, but...
I pick up a lot of skills, and I've attempted a few different instruments, and all times have ended disastrously. I've decided to cut my losses there.
Look, at least you tried. You can't say that you didn't give it a try.
GGXrd Revelator Story Mode. Learning of the robot's rebellion, the philosopher returned to the backyard for the last time. The pupils he left behind continued to await their master's return, but began searching for a way to stop the robot on their own. One chose to educate the people and help them evolve. Another thought to halt the advancement of humans, suspending them in their current state. The pupils will eventually become known as the Gear Maker and Conclave. They would call the robot the Universal Will. It was once an informational organism, but it now had become human, to understand human minds. Its original plan was to simply wait for mankind to sculpt its own demise, but Frederick and that man's interruptions would lead to its destruction before it could complete its directive. Thus, the human it became is the Sanctus Maximus Populi, Arios. Leo refuses to believe it, but Sol steps in front of it.
She's literally the greater will, made manifest. Oh wait, does that mean our American ninja African warlord knew about this? And that's why he told Kai, like, if you meet somebody strange, make sure to ask them, do you love mankind? Huh. That ninja man really knows everything.
お前もギアメーカーだ。本当の名前は何だったかな。さっきから聞いていれば、その第一の男ってやつが人類を危機にさらしたように言ってやがるが、てめえはどうなんだ。ギアを作り、聖戦を起こし、今もなお何かを企んでいる。
しかし、この話を信じるならば、ギアメーカーは慈悲なき啓示からずっと我々を守ってきたことになる。
ああ、元老院もな。
Well, look what the Conclave did. Yeah.
奴らは何をした？なぜラムレザルは死んだ？
僕は自分が善人であるとは言わない。だが今の話に嘘はないよ。
ならなぜギアを作った？
軍部の介入を阻止できなかった。
プロジェクトから抜けることもできたはずだ。なのにお前はギアを作り続けた。
ギアを戦争の道具にしたくなかった。
That's always how it ends. That's just humans. Any kind of advancement is like, oh, nuclear power. We can get a clean source of energy. But no, let's use it as a weapon of mass destruction. There's always that possibility
it's really
to use as a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like advancement becomes such a double-edged sword because it's like you could develop like the perfect thing, and then some dude goes, "But what if? What if make weapon?" And you go, "What if you know?" And they go, "Yes, make weapon." And you're like, "No, please, no."
Like, I understand that part as well, that you do need a standing military because we've all separated into our own different groups that we call countries nowadays. And, like, we need to make sure that we can hold our own land and not get pushed around by other people, because that's what humans want. They want to take your land, they want to take everything that you have and make it their own. But, boy, has it caused so much pain and suffering for so many people.
Can we cancel conquest culture?
Honestly, I dislike cancel culture very much. I wish it would stop. But if cancel culture would do one thing right, it's stop war.
Yeah,
let's cancel war. I'm sure a hashtag on Twitter will be able to fix the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get it trending. Everyone, hashtag cancel war.
Keyboard warriors, now is your time. You've been training for this day.
僕が作った知識共有のシステムを使えば、兵器となったすべてのギアに指令が出せる。戦争を止められる。
Yes.
そのためには、
Yes.
初めから開発に加わる必要があった。だから僕はジャスティスを作ったんだ。
大層な理由だな。
That kind of backfired.
だが肝心な説明が足りてね。なぜ俺をアリアをギアにする必要があった？
アリアのためだ。
He explains that he too wanted to cryo-freeze her and find a cure for TP infections, but she absolutely refused any future without seeing Frederick again. so he found the one answer that she would accept. But for it to happen, Frederick would have to become indestructible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and nobody thought to inform my guy here? Do you know how much pain and suffering he's gone through living a lie? What? Look at this man's face. I feel him so much like what? What did you just say to me? Oh my god. Women, am I right?
I would say what a lose-lose, but there really could have been more communication there.
Honestly, this is like one of the most extreme examples of a miscommunication, or a failure in communication is probably more accurate here.
Yeah.
ふざけた言い逃れをするな。その結果が
Yeah,
どんなざま
right.
か見てからものを言え。人類は滅びかけ、俺がジャスティスをアリアを殺したんだぞ。
アリアは死んでいないわ。
何？
ジャスティスが初めて暴走した時、アリアの魂は救済できたの。半分だけだったけどね。それが私。アリアの半分。
I guess I'll marry you then.
そして私が器に帰れば、
Yeah, one of them, like,
ジャスティスはギアで
bold statement. It's like, yeah, no, actually, your girl, she's not dead. It's me.
Man, I don't know if I would call this an upgrade. I mean, I know I would, but still. I might
You
be.
have to deal with the other half, though, still.
But yeah, oh yeah, never mind. I forgot about that. My bad. I don't know. Well, Ito said that she wanted my seed, so like maybe there's a thing there that could happen. We'll see. But hot damn, dude. My emotions right now would be so complex. I feel like Soul could probably deal with this much easier because he's such a simple guy and he's like, yeah, I'll just punch whatever I have an issue with. So maybe we're about to get into a fight with Jacko here. We'll see how it goes.
ではなく、
I mean, that is the solution to most things.
Yeah, true.
彼はずっとこの時のためだけに生きながらえてきたのよ。
Me, cat
Soul
boy.
is crestfallen. Kai pulls him out of the room.
ソル、お前の長きにわたる因縁は決して他人が口を挟めるものではないだろう。お前がどんな結論を出したとしても、私たちにそれを止められる力はない。だが残された時間もない。
Yeah,
我々には
super
ギアメーカー
important
の協力が必
for
要
any
だ。
guy to go through.
だから今は少しだけでいい。私とここにいよう。いいな。
I thought he was gonna ask him to marry him instead. Why don't you go out with me?
Marry me, Soul.
That would solve all the issues. Like, it would just be such a chill relationship. I don't know. Gotta feel it.
I mean, true. The vibes are good there.
I think Soul disliked that very much. This is supposed to be a sad emotional moment. God, we need to stop making fun of this. But oh my god,
I'm
that was so
not making
perfect.
fun of it. I love
Okay, serious face. Lore.
That man believes there will be a single opportunity to determine Ariel's and Elfelt's whereabouts, the Crusade Victory Celebration. Reading the report left by his convict Hammer, Kai realizes that alongside Ramlethal's remains, they found the remains of a Phalanx 9 unit as well. Kai says this is the part where he makes up his mind. In the hangar, Sin sits quietly, looking at
Wait, that was the wall that Soul punched randomly because he was drunk and he just came randomly walking in. It made such a profound statement too.
Yeah.
the stars through the hole in the ship.
星綺麗だな。
そうか。
もう一度
一緒に見たかった。
Yeah.
He also lost his girl.
Yep. And we need that double burger.
腹を空かせてるやつが。
じゃあ行こうぜ。
And go to the pits of hell and drag her back.
Inside Bedman's dream, an unexpected visitor stops by.
Oh.
Axel Lowe waltzes in, asking for a conversation. Bedman is confused and anticipates some new trick, but Axel assures him that he just wants to talk. He explains that his power has become larger than he can handle.
I don't think
and
Axel's the
wonders
kind
what
of
a
guy that would
power-hungry
trick someone.
I don't think Axel's the kind of guy that could successfully trick someone. I think Axel is such a victim of fate. There's like...
Yeah.
He literally didn't want to be a part of any of this. But now he's like the most important link all of a sudden, somehow. They managed to make him like the deciding factor, and he doesn't want to be it. And it's such an interesting dynamic that he has to like wrestle with these emotions of wanting to just go back. But if he does, this entire thing just disappears. So now what? I really feel for the guy. I do.
Person like Bedman does to affirm themselves. He just wants to see Megumi again. Bedman is surprised that he went through all this trouble
And everyone
just to
lost
ask
their
that,
girls in this.
knowing he could be killed, not knowing who Bedman is. He explains. He and his sister were born with a condition where their brains could not keep up with their thoughts, and dreams were the only place they could function. There he encountered the universal will and gained the ability to intervene in the waking world, but his sister Delilah is still wandering the dream world. She's never seen her mother or felt the embrace of another person. Axel is shocked at the violent lengths he's willing to go through to see his
Bloody
sister.
hell, mate.
Bedman explains that there's more to it. The backyard is connected to dreams, and lucid dreams allow one to create and change imaginary things.
Those are
But in
really
an
big
absolute
feet.
world, dream and reality become superimposed, and he would be able to save Delilah and undo everything he's destroyed, allowing people to return to their dull lives. He's memorized the identity of every single person he's killed, including everyone in Babylon, and once they win, he will bring them back.
This is a very different method from what most media go for when it comes to bringing back characters or resetting things in order to continue a story. Like, for the most part, what I've seen is just like, oh yeah, we time travel, and then we change events. But this is
I mean, technically,
altering the
Ben
backyard.
did it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he did. But I mean, we also had the OP power of just wishing things back into existence. As long as everybody agreed on the same thing, right? With the ultimate alien?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was a whole ordeal in and of itself, but still.
It was all the same, but a little bit different because Ben's memory wasn't perfect.
Yep.
He just wants a world with his sister in it. While he sympathizes with Axel, he can't let anything stop him.
その時はもう見逃すことはないと思ってくれ。
The pieces begin to come together. Kum taps into the power of the divine tree as Ariels prepares a banquet hall. Venom and Robokai travel together.
So
Venom apologizes.
I love how all of these like major events are occurring in the background. Some major character development is happening, and then the greater will is just preparing a banquet hall. We'll see where this goes.
Apologizes for pulling him into their darkness,
Yeah, we all know
and
feasting's
Robokai
important.
shares his dream to own a tangerine farm, warning him not to laugh at other people's dreams. President Vernon strikes a deal with Johnny for immunity
I thought it
and
was
several other
tangerines from
conditions.
Robokai.
When they said tangerines, I immediately thought of Code Geass. I forgot the character's name, but you probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Orange boy.
Orange boy. That's all I can remember about him. It's so sad.
It's like something like that. I forget his
Something
name.
like Jeremiah, Jerome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be it.
By taking an incriminating selfie as collateral. In
Bruh.
exchange, Johnny shows him his fastest ship, Gulen can be dark.
Blackmail by selfie.
Paradigm explains his plan.
The best way
When
to get
Ariels
blackmail.
meets with Kai and Leo, track her signal back to L and replace her with Jacko.
S tier on the
Saul
blacklist.
wonders what energy will be used to merge with
Blacklist.
justice. Surely not the Japanese. He wonders if he can kickstart the junkyard, but the gearmaker says that the outrage would be far too powerful. Perhaps they could use Saint Oratoria.
ラトリオ星人。かつて俺が専門で研究していた上限のないエネルギーだ。
君の夢は僕のせいで頓挫してしまったからね。
In all this, I've forgotten that Soul is also a scientist, so he does do his own research and is a very smart boy too. That lives life simply.
Yeah.
なんとかバルムンク級までは安定させた。
法力にも速度表皮効果がある。団体の伸縮領域をプラスマイナス 0.28 に設定すればもっと安定するはずだ。しかし、ということは。
ああ、僕のラボだ。数世紀前の骨董品だが、ちゃんと手は入れてある。
Kai asks how quickly they can get there once her location is exposed. Not everyone can ride a missile. Izuna would have been perfect for teleporting them, but they've been out of contact since Babylon, possibly due to Arios. Paradigm says it's all covered. Meanwhile, in Zep, Gabriel speaks to Chip, an uninvited guest in his office. He's not laughing at Chip's fledgling nation, but making grave accusations without evidence makes it hard to be taken seriously. Chip knows it's just a hunch, but going through official means at this point...
You know, sometimes you just gotta be a man and stand on the ceiling. Chip is that man. He's him.
Risks being compromised.
That man's with
Something.
Soul now.
You're... Gosh darn it, Siri! Oh god, I was gonna be so cool. I have finally made a good joke. And you ruined it for me. You ruined it with an even better joke. How could you? I'm in shambles. I'll never make a joke ever again. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I think he can't afford now. Chip is disappointed in the political stance Gabriel is posturing, noting that G4 is coming up, and Zep's acceptance into the UN is under review.
No, のらりくらりと拉致が開かねえな。じゃあ今までの話。
Bro, this guy.
もし嘘だったら俺の国をくれてやる。なんだと
Yeah, it's a very nanda. Oh my god!
かけていいものを区別もつかんのか。この技は俺の目を軽口に聞こえたなら謝る。だがどっちだ。あんたと俺適当言ってるのはどっちだ。確かに俺はちゃんとした言葉が出てこねえ。だからこの目を見て判断してくれ。拳を振り抜くのはその後でもできるだろう。
Chip is a very smart guy. He's just not an eloquently spoken leader.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But yeah, like you see his moves, and Gabriel is going to understand his moves, despite Chip being unable to express that. Man, Chip's character is just so much more interesting than what he appears to be, what his super would suggest. Oh man, this is great. I mean, of course, Gabriel's also super interesting, despite being the long nose guy that we didn't even know about until now.
Yeah.
What a guy, man. These people, these characters, it's so cool.
まったく何年も経つのに未だに異性者としての言動が身につかんのか。
I feel like Gabriel's in that situation where you have like the child that you want to look down on, but you realize that that child is on equal, if not higher footing than you all of a sudden, and you're like, now what do I do?
There's so many complex feelings for all of these characters. Just, I don't know how to handle them. It's like, God, the reality doesn't have these kind of situations.
自分ではいろいろ成長したつもりなんだけど。いや変わっていない。その眼差しがあの時から少しでも曇っていれば躊躇なくその顎を砕いていた。
I feel like Chip is what Elon Musk thinks he is.
No, Servi, how could you? Oh, bro. Oh, God, I'm going to love reading the comments under this episode.
I'm sorry.
In the banquet hall,
Also, I think I just noticed the same. Okay, yeah, it is just the same character model. I was like, wait, twins? Yeah, no, they're just background characters.
Ariels appears, wearing macabre face paint.
What the?
She commences the celebrations with a
look.
speech explaining that her appearance is proof of her resolve. Humanity has won the right to survive, and it will not bend or give in. Humanity is the only species that can prove its worth. She then welcomes Kai and Leo as they approach the throne.
ようこそちゃんと来てくれましたねよかっ
In case you didn't know who the bad guy was.
一体何を企んで
敬語を忘れていますよ第二連王これでも私は現職の西王です
よくも抜けてさっさと正体を晒したらどうだ
Actually, you know what? This explains everything. Like, it's impossible to have this kind of hair, but it is possible if you're the greater will.
yeah.
そうオッケーじゃあ
オッケー
堅苦しいのやめてあところでさ今の本当いいよ今まで提案された中で一
Why
番い
did
い
you why
Leo
did you change
demands
so
to know why
much?
she's driving mankind to the brink of destruction, to which she corrects. Not humans, redundancies. She takes offense to the word.
Because, yeah, she doesn't consider them to be the true humans, even though you studied them in order to understand what human is. Oh, God. Oh,
Her answer is that
jeez,
she's
oh, man.
programmed herself to loathe this artificial humanity. Seeing things through the same lens only led her to despise human irrationality.
Okay, my bad. The only thing I saw from that tattoo was cum. What did that actually say? I gotta go back. I can't have this be. I need to redeem myself. Illyricum? Okay.
I can see how all you saw was cum.
Seeing things through the same lens only led her to despise human irrationality, its self-destructive nature, and above all else, its indulgence in excess consumption.
だからこれ以上ないってくらいに徹底的にでっけでっけでっけって憎むことにしたの皆殺しにできちゃったらはあすっきりしたって
なんだと貴様人間を
I would say that she's gone full mask off, but she literally put on a mask of makeup. How ironic.
なんだ脱線しちゃったもうやだあでもまあそれが理由だからねさっきのスピーチ悪くなかったの本心だったから
Ariel summons 3 antimatter gears to the streets of the city. Kai grips his sword, but Leo holds him back. Ariel tells Kai to settle down.
これが落ち着いていられると思うか
ああ落ち着ける
Oh, no! Ah, I didn't know your game, lady. Now I understand. Yeah, I'd run too. Banging on the door like that won't do anything, I don't think.
After everything that was said, though, this is the point of escalation.
Shooting a random
Like,
guest.
I
Ariel
get
continues
it,
to
but
Well, for the other people, now they're actually realizing they probably weren't listening in on the convo. Maybe.
maybe he wasn't
describe
exactly quiet
the
about
source
it.
of her
But
Yeah.
analysis. The reason why redundancies crave excess is because of their longing for possibility, hope. Thus, to take everything away,
Evil.
she must reap hope.
You and Monokuma go very well together.
she does kind of have some
Televising
Junko
her reveal,
vibes.
Ariel detonates the entire
Wait, oh my god, I see it. You're so right. Especially with like the different personalities too that she's showcasing
Yeah.
off here. Oh
Yeah.
god.
room around her throne, knocking Kai and Leo nearly unconscious. Noticing a wound on her arm, she points the gun at Kai, but the bullet is blocked by Chip, arriving just in time.
Nice.
鋭いなあ。でも一人で来たのってまずくない？
一人？そいつは
I'm never alone.
What'd you bring with him?
I brought an entire city.
オッケー。じゃあ大佐。余興の本番はこれからだしね。
Yep, I don't even blame you.
Don't miss it.
The antimatter gears rampage through the streets
This
as
girl.
civilians run for their lives, including the two children who were bullying Robokai.
No!
Alexis orders to support the city as Faust packs 3 syringes of his new medicine, designed to delay the antimatter collapse and explosion. He heads towards the chaos, but he's not alone.
ことができれば。危ない。
Robokai? Oh!
Potemkin!
Hell yeah! Big man on the scene. Oh, actually, who's bigger? Potemkin or Faust? Faust is probably
If
taller.
Faust stood up straight, yeah, he's probably taller. But I don't think mass-wise, I think Potemkin is much bigger.
Yeah, probably. Oh, nice! It's my tiny little jab. Okay. Oh, whoa! Just threw him like that? Nani?
Yeah.
Team of the century.
What an interesting group, though. Chip, Potemkin, and Faust.
Yeah, this isn't the first group that I would think of when I'm trying to like
I
pair
like
characters together.
But
It
it's an interesting mix.
It's very interesting indeed, and lore-wise makes a whole lot of sense.
ここはいい。お前は次に向かえ。西欧直轄か。
Oh,
さすがに
there's Dio.
イルリアにも。
This group, however, is exactly the 3 I
It always has been, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Shadow Shark.
Gosh.
やった。次は。
Oh, I'm gonna assume we're not gonna get to this one in time.
あれは間に合わない。
But then... Snows! Gabriel! I see that Gabriel also likes to punch his problems many, many times.
Oh, Slayer!
And Slayer
Everyone is here!
Bro, Slayer came in at the end for just a stylish kick and then left. He's like, ah, my job here is done. I
He would
look
come in
fabulous.
just for the style points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
弱くなったか。お前もな。
These two.
That's not the 2 you want to pick a fight with.
Oh,
Tapping into the
yeah.
tree's key. Kum
Honestly, that's probably the worst pairing. Like, the least amount of chance of survival that you have is these two. Like, you basically guarantee your
Heihachi
death.
begins holding back the giant information flares, preventing eradication of the colony. Suddenly, a number of Phalanx 9 units rush to attack. Viken is prepared, and she and May fight the Phalanx. Just then, reinforcements arrive.
I say this is a cute trio.
Answer joins the fight.
Yes, Answer!
Bedman arrives in a park of ruins, wondering why the Sanctus Maximus is late. He begins casting a spell, as the same kids from earlier try to hide nearby.
What the heck?
Suddenly, he senses Venom approaching him, but is ambushed by Robokai, who can not only evade detection, but also hear Bedman's dream wavelength.
His dream wavelength? Love the sci-fi.
なるほどね。
I just love Robokai's design. He just makes me laugh. I love it.
ブレイク考えたね。まさかこんなおもちゃまで持ってくると。僕としてはその機械人形さえ先に壊してしまえばいい話だ。
I mean, Venom's a lot of things, but I don't think he's stupid. He knows that he's not going to be able to 1v1 Bedman. He's not that guy. So, yeah, you got to get all the help that you can. He's not Gabriel.
No one's got the smarts to be Gabriel but Gabriel himself.
True.
わしらが死にに来たと言ってるぞ。
その球体には何の威力も拘束力もない。だから君は危機と判断しなかった。しかし決して逃れることはできない。
Okay, job done.
Bedman teleports. But the sphere stays locked on.
こんな攻撃で倒せると思っているのか。そう考えている。先ほど君は死にに来たのかと言ったらしい。私は死にに来たのだ。何ら問題はない。アサシンは生まれ変わる。これからは日の当たる世界で罪を背負う。過ちを正す機会を得たのだ。
Okay, well, actually, I recall criticizing Slayer for not coming back and, like, managing this organization of assassins that he created, and them kind of just running amok. But it looks like it's come full circle, and now they're going back to their original purpose. That's pretty cool.
君たちの起こした戦争でな。し
I
か
feel
し
like Venom's kind of underrated.
それだけでは
He's
世
pretty
界
cool.
が納得しまい。
I don't think we even see Venom and Strive, so something has to happen to him here. Or maybe he just hasn't been added yet. I don't know. You played the game. How could you
I
not
haven't
know?
played the story mode of Strive, and I don't remember anything anymore from there.
Bedman rationalizes Venom's motive.
I'm starting to wonder if I beat it or not. I genuinely do not know.
I see.
But more and more spheres continue to appear until a countless amount blot out the sky.
このベノム、それで本望。
He's talking a lot about giving up his life in order to make this happen, so I don't have a good feeling about this one.
He just comes back as half of Jacob.
He just comes back as yet another half of Arya.
まずい。僕が負けるというのか。こんなに可愛いもの
Some cheap
こんな
dream.
に安っぽい夢のために。
Ironic.
おい、人の夢を気安く笑うな。
何？
As reality sets in, Bedman refuses to accept defeat. Thinking of all that he's done that he must fix, he absolutely can't give in to one-man sacrifice.
この僕の非常の覚悟。たかだか君一人の命と引き換えに諦めるというのか。
Hearing the burden of others that he places on himself, Robokai tells Bedman that he's actually a pretty nice guy. But just then, the two hiding children try to escape, and Bedman seizes the opportunity.
しまった。
Oh, these kids.
お前たちなんでこんなところに。
夢を笑うなと言ったな。では、僕と同じステージに立ってもらおうか。どちらの夢が、どちらの思いが強いのか、はっきりさせようじゃないか。大丈夫。この子たちの名前も覚えている。
Oh god, that's how he's rationalizing it all now. Yeah, I'll just bring them back anyway, so it's fine to just kill them. Oh, that much power. I would never feel like any human being could be entrusted with that. It certainly
Dude, with
corrupts
how
the
bad my
mindset.
memory is, I wouldn't be able to bring a single person back.
Oh no! Oh god! Let's hope Serby never gains Bedman powers.
Robokai places himself in front of the kids, saying that even if he hates the townspeople, he relies on them, and that he can be useful to at least one person, and that makes him a member of society. He He doesn't know what kind of awful world Bedman was born into, but whatever he wants to do, how he's going about it is completely wrong. He gets impaled by Bedman's spikes, but closes the distance.
Bro. Even Kai's robot version is a shonen protagonist.
Yo. Kai Jean's too strong.
覚えておけ。人の夢を笑っちゃいかん。わしなりの哲学だ。いっぺん反省してこい。
Such a simple way of putting things.
With a self-destruct,
But it works.
he destroys the bed frame and forces Bedman to awaken.
No.
巻きのシステム
Oh, that's one good thing to wake up to, that's for sure.
Death by giant pool too.
As Bedman lies on the ground, Ariels approaches, unable to stifle her laughter at the convenience of Bedman killing himself for her in the end. She breaks it to him. Mankind isn't gonna make it in the absolute world. She misled him into believing that they would resurrect the human race. But it's his—
Yes, dumbass. You thought you were the smartest person in the room? Get played! But even the smartest people can be so easily misled, as long as what you're doing is believable enough and it aligns with their ideals.
Like I said, the best villains are ones who do the wrong things but truly believe in what they're doing.
Actually, in a way, this is also kind of how, like, modern cults entrap you by convincing you that it's like a cultural thing, a scientific thing, that it aligns with your reasoning and your perspective.
They take advantage of the things that the flaws and aspects of society and like give you those sweet words to be like, yeah, we can solve the problems with that you're dealing with in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of worms their way into creating logic into their actions, even though when you take a step back and look at the big picture, it's like, no, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you take it step by step, you can see how someone gets there, and you're like, oh.
Or Bedman. Fell for the good old Ponzi scheme.
his fault for not reading between the lines. Bedman realizes the weight of his sins.
You didn't read the contract.
You didn't read the fine print, yeah. That's what you get when you just accept terms and services.
Yeah. Oh?
絶対確定世界。その気になれば僕一人でもできると言ったはずだ。否定する。ここは僕が作り出した世界だ。僕が定めたことが絶対だ。どんな力もここでは無力だ。だが残念だ。残りの命ではこれがせめて。
Yeah, you can't really sustain yourself being awake.
He turns to stone as he casts a final spell. As Ariels teleports away, an unknown girl with the same leg markings as Bedman steps into the frame.
Oh, we know who this is.
Leo awakens in the war room just as Paradigm's fears come true. Ariels is completely masking her signal.
Gender bent Potemkin is just a tiny little girl. Just the complete opposite.
I mean, that is anime logic, right?
Actually, not wrong. Isn't it like, what was that show? Mahou Shoujo no Ore or something like that? Where...
That's the opposite, but
yeah.
Zappa suddenly has an epiphany and calls up his colleague Randy, who modifies his global
too far into your brain. The fact that you could pull that out of my name out.
It had an impact on me when I discovered that the enemies were like super buff squirrels.
Yeah.
What a strange show.
It's
Her
beautiful.
virus to broadcast aerial signal around the world. Because she's masking herself, any area where the signal doesn't show up must be her location. It works, and she's detected in the North Atlantic.
If she's not here, then that's where she is.
With Sol, Kai, Sin, and Jacko aboard. That man reactivates his old lab, standing in the same place he did on the day Japan was lost. They begin preparations for St. Oratorio. Aboard the Gulen can be dark. April estimates 40 minutes to travel 3,600 kilometers. Back in the war room, Leo receives a call from the third king, Daryl. He was busy with internal affairs, but is ready to reap.
Why is it such a... Like every single time Daryl gets mentioned, it just sticks out from everybody else's name somehow. I mean, April's like also a pretty common name, but like it doesn't hit like Daryl.
It's that Baylord effect, right? Doom, Yama, and Paul.
Daryl's a good guy. I hope he's doing well, but still, we'll laugh every single time he gets mentioned.
He take command of his fleet. Leo resists, but Daryl insists that Leo doesn't have the authority. Daryl says that he'll be objective, and unlike Leo, he won't hesitate to make the call to fire on justice, even if Sol is in the way. Under the Sanctus Maximus orders, the ships were outfitted with collider cannons with unprecedented power, but not enough for her liking to approve the final output.
Over 9,000. Oh my.
This must be Johnny's ship.
Probably, yeah.
その話題は今
Oh no. Soul's like, I don't want to think about this complicated family tree anymore. Let's not. Oh god.
何の話だ？
あら、そのことなら私が一番。
ジャックをやめろと言ったはずだ。いいか、今から皆何も考えるな。なんで？それが平和だからだ。
I can't even picture the current family tree because it's so complex. But I also feel like Soul's reacting to it this way because there is a certain relation that is going on between couples. And he doesn't want it to be known. Ooh boy. I'll just leave it to anime.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to like think of the tree nut. You know what? I'm a soul right now. I don't want to think about it.
決戦の前だ。もやっとしたくない。俺は間違ってない。
待ってくれ。そうか。その話はディズィはジャスティスの娘で、つまりいや嘘だ。まさかそれが私の音。カイ。
The group discusses the universe.
Oh my god, why is Guilty Gear just the best thing ever? It could be so ridiculously awesome and it's so ridiculously funny. It just has so many highs. Oh, characters are all so silly too. They're all just a bunch of silly bellies.
I mean, Sin's just with Grandpa this whole time.
Yeah. Good old Grampy.
Universal wills struggle to define humanity. They reaffirm that no matter what pathway to happiness humanity might stray from in the future, what's important is that each person has the right to make a choice for themselves. As they arrive at the destination, they see floating rocks and antimatter gears. Drawing her sword, Ariels tells Elfeld that in a few moments, she would become the loneliest creature on the planet.
Damn. That's one heck of a thing to say to someone.
Right?
そこからの眺めはいいか？今のうちに楽しんでおけ。晩飯までには帰るからな。
Take you up for dinner. Is it just like a phone call with your wife or something?
今日の
Joker.
お前に決めさせてやる。人類が滅んだ後か助かった時か。
Well, we'll have it either way.
The battle begins. Soul, Kai, and Sin fight the Sanctus Maximus together.
ジャクオ、お前はエルフェルトのところへ向かえ。あとは
ぶっ飛ばす。シン、言葉が汚いぞ。なんて言うんだよ。ぶっ飛ばす。明日からは使うな。
Oh my god. Dad.
Introducing herself as her other mother, or a kind of sister, Jacko takes position near Elfelt.
Mother, sister.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird relations going on here. Let's just not think about it. Let's just fight.
"私が何もそのようになく、ただお前らの到着を待ってたと思う?"
消し飛びやがる。
Soul activates Junkyard Dog to threefold output, capable of smashing a mountain.
I'm gonna guess she just tanks that.
But Ariel's tanks to hit, asking why he won't Dragon Install. She answers that it's because he's afraid of amplifying the information flows. Conveniently, Dragon Install and Ramlethal were the only threats she was concerned about, but Ram's defective choices were her own problem.
てめえはそれ以上しゃべんじゃねえ。
It's shown in
Sin's eye
power!
explodes with red gear energy, just like the eye his father received. It engulfs his entire body.
てめえが母さんだからだ。それを
放っておけば幸せだったと思うのか。貴様らの味方になったからといって人形ではない。生き続けて孤独になるだけだ。
だからといって生きる権利を奪う道理はない。
As Kum and Baiken hold out for as long as possible, Jacko gets into position for Saint Oratorio.
あなたの役目は私が引き継ぐの。もう少し待ってね。
But the broken ground
You'd think I'd be used to the jiggle physics way now, but no, it still gets me every single time.
I didn't even notice it.
Oh, I'll
Just
always notice
zoomed
it.
out.
Oh man,
the
it's
chains
great.
on Justice begin to destabilize her
More,
position.
please.
20倍なら耐えられねえはずだ。
The group is forced to break off to correct it as Soul stalls Ariel
Look at him run.
with Junkyard Dog's 20-fold output. Kai also activates his red gear eye, and with Sin, they realign Justice.
お前はなぜ人形どもの味方をする。神にも等しい存在のお前が人間らしい感性など自ら放棄してしまう。お前はそんな世界で一人で生きていく覚悟があるというのか。
花火は好きか。
は
俺は
What a way to start that. Where are you taking this? Do you like seeing fireworks from the side? Yeah, I love that movie, even though everybody hated it. Yeah.
I thought I the Somnium Files.
No, not again.
This episode is not free of I the Somnium File references. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, I actually just realized, yes, it is. Literally. That's the same line.
Do you
Oh
like-
god. But this is such like a classic moment in so many shows where we have to just like stop and then the main character has to deliver their full everything that has been built up till now, their entire character arc for this one moment.
Yeah.
It's really reminding me of the ending of Gurren Lagann, but I can't discuss more because you haven't seen it. For those who have seen it, you guys know. And honestly, Gurren Lagann I just realized probably why I really like Gurren Lagann, and that's why I like Guilty Gear, because they're both in the same kind of facet where they're just unapologetically awesome, and also really funny and hilarious when they need to be, and all the characters are just so over the top. But they also are able to bring out the humanity and the emotion within all those characters, despite all of that. It's a form of storytelling that I don't see too often anymore, but it's so good.
Just the over-the-top absurdity of it, while just also, like, fully taking itself seriously and going all in on it is just, like, always a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
it takes itself 100% seriously and then not at all at the same time.
Yeah. It's hard to strike that balance, because a lot of shows like to cop out, and they try to do like we're aware that, you know, it's over the top, it's gimmicky, and that there's an audience watching, so like we'll make jokes here and there or to alleviate that tension. But no, when there are tense moments like this, they don't stop. They keep going, and they go 1000% past that. They surpass their limits, just like the characters do.
Yeah.
今まで一人であることに努めてきた。俺がそうしてきた。俺が望んだ俺の世界だ。ところがそんな自分の世界を持った奴らがあちこちぶつかってきた。
What a simple reason.
俺ただの守りたいだの。成り上がりたい。取り戻したい、やり直したい。それはもうガンガンと鬱陶しくな。まるで花火だ。おかげで俺は一人でいることを認識できた。一人じゃなく一人だ。俺の世界は何かに許された俺の自由なんだよ。だが本当に誰か一人の望みだけで存在する世界ってのは結局自分が一人であることも認識できなくなる。それはてめえがムカついている世界と何が違う。この世界はでけえ花火だ。見逃す手はねえだろうが。
But one of the chain links breaks. Soul grabs it quickly, but disengages Ariel's.
Oh, well, here we go.
As Saint Oratorio fires, Raven suddenly appears with Ramlethal.
There we
Though
are.
the explosion in Scandiva severed two of her limbs, Raven was able to rescue her at the last minute and repair her in secret. Using her swords, she lifts the chains and stabilizes Justice. Ariel's says it's a shame, as she was hoping to keep Soul around in the new world, but her objective is already 100% achieved.
0% だ、ボケが。
Me?
俺が何の備えもなしにここにいると思うか。この位置に立っていると思うか。
何?
Dragging her into the beam, he stands behind her. As she blocks it, she asks Soul how long he's lived and whether or not he's seen where the world is headed. She wants to know what his experiences have amounted to and everything about his past.
月が落ちる。
It's like trying to delay the inevitable. Just ask the person about to kill you. So what's your life story like? Start from the beginning.
As Ariel's is blasted, Elfelt becomes separated from Justice. Ram catches her.
Yay!
But just as everyone
That's
begins to
actually
celebrate,
adorable.
Daryl's ships.
I mean, their whole relationship was like one of the more emotional bits for the previous videos. So the actual only character moment that I can think of that almost moved me to tears.
Surround them. Kum is reaching her limit, and Zappa sees the flares are still coming. Jacko reports that the merge didn't occur because Arya's unconscious mind in Justice doesn't want to become human. Her memory of everything she did as Justice still torments her, but with another greater surge of power, Jacko can momentarily override her consciousness and force the merge. That man says he can't possibly output more power.
We need the power of
Soul
friendship
says fire
and
it anyway,
love.
and he'll use Junkyard Dog to amplify. But Daryl says they can't wait any longer to destroy Justice. The mission was a failure, and as his fleet of collider cannons is the last resort, gambling on Soul is not acceptable. Leo objects
Always
in the
gamble
name
on
of the
Soul.
Illyrian
I mean, he is the main character of the universe. But, like, you also can't blame Daryl because by the book, yeah, that's the right decision. But
Yeah.
Soul can probably do this. Just because we know
Soul's
who
the
he
kind
is.
of guy that it's like, yeah, just always gamble it all on Soul.
If you want something impossible to be done, then he's kind of your man.
Constitution, Section 3, Paragraph 12. With joint signatures from the first and second king, he can hereby be removed from his command as king. He asks Kai to sign, but Kai hesitates. He appreciates Leo's efforts, but Daryl has a point. He asks him to teleport everyone back to the ship and leave him and Soul behind. Daryl beams up Sin, Ram, L, and Kai, who protests, but Daryl says humanity needs him to go on. He fires the cannons.
Shit. Father-in-law!
ジャックを付き合わせちまったな。
あなた本当に最後の1秒まであがくのね。でもいいじゃない。約束を守ってくれた。あなたは一人にはならなかった。
それでよしとするか。
I feel like the lasers aren't enough.
As they close their eyes, the cannons never reach them. Axel Lowe has stopped time.
Oh, what?
これは旦那旦那
Just the way that he said that.
I didn't realize how great Axel is until these videos. I freaking love Axel now.
Is peak, man. I understand all the comments talking about how, you know, Axel for president. Axel is my boy. I seen those comments. I understand you guys. Axel's freaking great, man. E equals MC2.
アクセルかすごいっしょこの一体の時間を圧縮しちゃいました
Yeah,
Soul
I just did
asks him
that.
what'll happen if he uses his power. And Axel says he knows he'll never see Megumi smile again.
Oh.
If he returned, she's the kind of person who would have said, it must have been a tough decision. But that's not good enough for him. The paradox is, to be the kind of person she'd be proud of, he can't abandon this world.
No. His voice sounds really familiar.
上等でアクセルをいっぱい怒らせろ
The fusion occurs, and time resumes as the cannon fires. When the dust settles, Justice is gone, and Soul is holding an unconscious Jacko. A barrier cast by aerials protects them.
お前まで消えてしまったら私の希望が
Wow.
本当になくなってしまうから言えたきりじゃないが娘たちも頼む今となっては私の唯一
I guess
この世
from this one action,
に残せる
You've understood humans a little bit more.
Jacko's halo disappears, and her hair turns red.
Ah, then we get
Aria
Strive
is
Jacko.
reborn. Back in Illyria and the colony, the Phalanx 9 soldiers drop their weapons and fall over. The flares stop.
Noise.
君は英雄などではない。奇跡はそう何度も起こせるはずがない。
I was like, what the fuck, man?
噂通り分身だったようだ。
This can't be happening.
丁重におもてなししよう。
That's a different game series.
こいつはありがてえ話だが
Unfortunately, it doesn't have such a wholesome ending.
酒がありそうな方に行くか
Yeah, that's the way I walk towards the alcohol and the burgers.
Sometime later, Soul tends to unfinished business. Accompanied by Sin, he faces the gear maker, Raven, and Ino, with her back turned to them all.
これで危機は本当に去った。ありがと
Ino's too cool for school.
う。アリアは君に任せた。だからあと僕たちの決着だけだ。
は？え？なんでだよ。もう二人が喧嘩する理由なんてねえだろ。
Oh no, they have plenty of
確
reason.
かに。もうギアメーカー、あの男にこの世界には必要なくなった。でも
It is I, Cashew.
シン、よく見ておけ。あれが男の目だ。喧嘩を売る野郎の目だ。ああいう目をしたやつには理由なんかいらねえ。
You just
答えてや
fight.
るのが筋なんだよ。
What kind of life lessons are we teaching Sid?
いいだろ。アスカある黒いつ。
Do you know how many crimes have been
そ
committed
の喧嘩。
where people are just looking at each other and they're just like, what are you looking at me for? Stab you. You know, like that a lot.
Guilty Gear Xrd, Rev 2, Epilogues.
Alright.
Oh, okay.
He's still going.
Oh, you gotta say
Oh,
Venom.
he got Venom. Does that mean Venom's still somewhere out there?
I hope so.
Oh my. Just an average day for Slayer.
Zato and Slayer reflect on the ruin of the merciless apocalypse and the assassins being reborn, but the risk of Venom being discovered alive is a loose end that needs to be taken care of. In an alleyway in Illyria, Venom and Robokai's head are living on the streets selling services. Venom knows his unexpected.
Oh no, Venom! So this is what you've been doing this entire time.
You didn't get Robokai a body.
No. He's permanently ahead now.
He's become a meal from Automata.
Basically. He gets added as like a DLC character, and he's literally just ahead with a helicopter. He fights like
They
that.
put his head on a truck.
What? Oh god.
It worked for a meal.
Expected survival jeopardizes the assassin's future, so he's resentful. But Robokai tells him not to act like his life has so little value. Plus, he needs to make money to buy him a new robot body.
Oh, well, there you go.
Suddenly,
Good,
an assassin named 2Cave and two guild members approach Venom.
Bruh.
Feigning ignorance, they intimidate him, demanding shoe shines. Speaking allegorically, 2Cave describes a scenario in which not all guild members are on board with going legit, or worse, having to pay the price if Venom is exposed. His resolve is tested, but when a random old man hears the commotion and gets too close, Venom vows to protect the people of the city. With that, he passes the test. 2Cave hands him a message from Zato, and an envelope containing a new life. Later, we see Robokai and Venom working at their own bakery.
What?
One day,
Heck yeah!
Yo, that was the last thing I expected from Venom.
I love it.
From assassin to bakery owner. What a guy.
Zato stops by
Look at
to
that
check up on
fancy
him.
ass gold cash register though.
Hiding in plain sight, with a slight change in hairstyle.
Cut his bangs.
Finally.
King Darrow hosts a party for the operations team, including Zappa, Alexis, and Randy, when a world record-sized pudding is destroyed
man.
and the blame is placed on paranormal activity. Zappa investigates to get to the bottom of the web of lies. Ultimately, it is discovered that the giant pudding's creation involved a magical contract with a demon.
What?
And all those who sink a bite.
What the fuck is going on? I shouldn't be surprised this is Guilty Gear. What was I expecting? What? Who thinks of this? Ah, yes. The greatest, most gigantic pudding in the world can only be created by making a contract with a demon. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yet another example of being incredibly over-the-top ridiculous and yet taking itself 100% seriously. Oh, God.
Are blasted into the sky.
What?
With a rocket propulsion coming from
Again, not where I thought that was going.
Somewhere.
Raven and Asuka meet to say goodbye. Raven says that the G4 is happening soon, giving Asuka a half-month to complete his task. He then thanks him, noting that from here on out, his actions are his own, and he too wishes to fight the flame of corruption. Asuka admits that he told Soul to win and survive.
あなたはかつて言われました。平穏が訪れた時、
Is this on Destiny Island?
その
It
握りに
looks
あ
like
る
it,
こと、
doesn't it?
あの言葉を私に語り部としての生き方を示したように思えます。なぜですか？我々がいずれ道を分かつことになるのは分かった。
Okay, this is probably a coincidence, but there is another character in Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann that is forced to live forever to be a storyteller. That parallels. I mean, there's probably some inspiration here and there, maybe some shared ideas, concepts. It is intriguing, though.
I don't think that's a new concept. I've seen other things that do that.
For sure, yeah. But the same base idea.
それは主従の関係であるべきじゃないと思ったんだ。だからあれは僕なりにその友としての言葉だ。
Raven smiles and asks Asuka, if there were a god, what would you want him to be like? Long ago, Raven once tried playing God by helping the people of a village with everything from healing illness to toppling tyrants. He was killed many times, but his many returns were seen as miracles. As word about him spread, he visited and helped new villages traveling far. Eventually, when things settled down, he decided to return to the first village, but they hated him for abandoning them. He was blamed for everything bad that happened in his absence. He wasn't a savior, he was a repairman who went missing.
Hey, it's all about that teaching a man to fish or giving a man a fish. To play a god, I mean, he is immortal. Doesn't necessarily make him a god. Anybody can really feign themselves to be a god by doing acts and miracles and stuff like that. I am very interested, though, to see what Asuka's view on a god is, considering all the knowledge that he has about the backyard, which is technically kind of a god.
Yeah.
Not the conventional type, but it does control everything, literally, so.
ただのシステムだったのだと。神を気取っていた私はひどく落胆した。
少なくとも人は神をシステムだとは思わない。
Asuka asks if he's still looking for an answer, and Raven says that Asuka was the one who showed him. Something exists beyond the people's understanding that they hold close to their hearts, and when it earns their belief, it's called God.
もしこの世に不滅の語り部がいるとすれば、それはきっと人の心に寄り添う存在になれる。
Character development.
私は
Massive.
今度こ
From
そ
the wiggly arm guy that we saw before.
本当に何かを救うことができるかもしれない。ですからどうかおっしゃってください。後を頼むと。きっとその言葉に従います。私も友として。
The power of friendship. And God.
ありがとう。では後のことを頼んだよ。
At home, Kai, Sin, Dizzy, L, and Ram are discussing what will happen now that the public will become aware of the truth. Kai expects the scandal will force them to leave. L finds a newspaper, however, that has an article about the public reaction to seeing Dizzy during the final battle
I like
in
their
Illyria.
casual outfits.
Very cute.
ここじゃありません。ディジーさんに関するみんなの感想です。命を救われた。最後まで私たちを見捨てなかった。まるで天使。いや、
I mean,
女神様
it's all about perspectives.
Yeah.
彼女が王妃様ならきっとカイ様とお似合いなのに。
Queen Dizzy announced first drive.
ディジーさんの人間じゃないことを知ってそれでも投書しています。カイさんの家族ならきっと新しい世界の新しい王様たちになれます。
Now you basically guaranteed that Soul will be your father-in-law.
それが本当ならここにいるみんなでずっと一緒にいられますね。
みんなでだって私たちはみんな家族
I
でし
mean,
ょ。
you're all kind of the same.
家族
Dog.
Look at the
Sin then
puppy.
wonders where Soul fits into all of this.
そうなったみんなは親父のことなんて呼ぶんだ？
確かにそうですね。どうしましょうか。
You should
ディジー
respect
さん
him.
の場合は普通にお父さんで
Look at that face! Oh man. Ever since the
Oh, we go
Supers
there.
video, there are just so many great expressions on all the characters. The painful ones, the ones that are experiencing pleasure from the pain too. There's so many unique expressions. It's great.
いいんじゃないですか。
Yeah.
私たちにとってもお父さんなのかな。あれお兄さんかも。
Oh!
何よりも恐れていた事態だ。
The doorbell
It's
rings.
probably Soul.
Soul was right on time. But when Kai gets to the door, he senses danger. On the other side of it, Soul is looking for a fight. Kai and Soul take a walk. Soul asks if
He
he's
always
over it
is.
yet, settling the score between them, going all out. Kai says he's not completely satisfied, but in his head, it's done, and that he's always given it his all. It was Soul who wasn't taking it seriously.
聖戦時まだお互いが出会う前だ。天才剣士の噂を
Way back
クリ
when.
フから聞いた。それはつまりお前のことだ。俺はこれっぽっちも興味を持たなかった。だが初めて戦場でお前を見た時、そこには俺の想像をはるかに超えた存在がいた。いや、あったと言った方が正しいか。一分の隙もなく、無駄もなく、油断も躊躇も恥も外聞も騎士道も慈悲もない。 感情なんて介在する余地のない存在。
I mean, that was a time
ま
of
るで
war.
屠殺場の機械だ。
I
ただ
completely
効率
understand
的
it,
にギ
yeah.
アを駆逐していくお前を見た。俺は戦慄した。
昔の話だ。
まあ聞け。ともかくだ。それが俺の知るカイという男の本
But
気
we
だ。
see the face of son-in-law Kai.
そしてある日、お前が俺に勝負を挑んできた。その時、俺がどう思ったかわかるか。ビビってた。正直に言ってビビってたんだよ。こいつは俺がギアであることを知って殺しに来たんだってな。だから俺は全力で身構えた。ところが蓋を開けてみればどうだ。お前は真剣勝負とのたまっておきながらチャンバラごっこを始め出した。
Kai explains that he wasn't out to kill him, and that battlefield tactics are for killing monsters. Soul said that's his mistake. He's a gear. He is a monster. Kai protests that if they fought that way, it could hardly be called a duel. Soul says exactly. It would be a real fight. Kai takes a moment to make him understand, by asking him to draw his blade. Before Soul has time to think, Kai shifts behind him and holds an imaginary blade to his neck. Is this a real fight? Could you accept losing like this? Soul pushes him off, saying the only rule is, they start when he says go.
やめろ。なぜそんな挑発をする？
ガタガタ言ってんじゃねえ。よく見ろよ、カイキスク。てめえの前にいるのは人間か、それとも自分の女も化け物だから躊躇しちまうってのか。
He's really going for it. Soul just wants to get his blood pumping. It's literally all this is for. Yeah. And to be fair, for the both of them to survive up until this point, through all that they've gone through, they kind of have to become these kind of people. If they weren't, then they would have died long ago.
Soul lies flat in a crater, defeated. He's not satisfied, but Kai notes that Soul didn't transform, to which he says he didn't have a chance to. Soul is looking for answers about how a human faces a monster, because Asuka has challenged him.
Monster
Kai
Hunter?
explains that Holy Order techniques specialize in picking away at gears from a distance,
There's an entire game series
uncovering an
about it,
opening,
man. Just
and
play
then
that.
finishing them off. Magic users mirror these tactics, and while Asuka isn't a warrior, he's the strongest magic user there is. But Soul has a fighting chance if he takes Kai's advice. The date isn't set, but it'll happen when Asuka takes care of some personal affairs.
番組を中断して緊急速報をお伝えいたします。本日未明、ギアメーカーの身柄が確保され、護送中との情報が入りました。繰り返します。人類史上最悪の滞在人、ギアメーカーの身柄が確保され
Probably
ました。
because he was okay with it.
アメリカ合衆国政府に投降した模様です。
Yeah. Is that it?
And with that, we're all caught up. I just want to give a special thanks again to all of you for watching this, for your kind words, for the feedback I've gotten. Thanks again to Arc System Works for
This has
officially
been an
supporting
incredible
these
video
videos.
series.
That being said, when we're not diving super deep into Guilty Gear lore, there's some other stuff going on this channel. We usually don't do heavy calls to action, but if you're into fighting games or you want to get into them, we've got a series called Get Into Fighting Games. We play them every week.
Oh, cool.
We sometimes get experts on. We sometimes dive deep and go competitive, playing online. Or we get new players who've never touched games before and are trying to learn.
Like
So
me.
Get Into Fighting Games is a weekly series. It's a lot of fun. Come hang out. We've also got regular Let's Plays of a variety of different genres. A lot of classics I've never
watched the
touched,
Shin Megami
or
Tensei
new
Let's
things
Plays.
coming out.
It was fun.
And then there's a weekly podcast called Castle Super Beast where we just shoot the shit and talk video games. So that's what's usually going on. And if you
Still going on
think any of that sounds fun, check it out and maybe give a subscribe. And yeah, have fun with it. Thanks so much, everybody.
That was incredible. I honestly didn't know what we were getting into when people suggested that we check out Wooly's series on the Guilty Gear lore. But the fact that this was officially sponsored certainly made me much more confident in checking it out, and it certainly delivered on the quality. Like, man, that was so fun. I feel like the pacing of the editing too was also great, and the mixing of the music with all the scenes too. It just made moments so much more impactful. And
I mean, this
being able
was an
to
hour-long video, and it just went by like it was nothing.
yeah. Like being able to go in depth into each character and this incredibly complex story with so many moving parts, being able to make sense in our heads, despite, you know, never having experienced it personally ourselves. And I mean, Serbi barely remembers anything, so it's basically no. And yet we're still able to follow all of that. It was like a feat. Like that. That's great. I can't believe how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I knew I loved Guilty Gear, and then this just like reaffirmed all of the reasons why I love Guilty Gear. And now I feel confident that I know the story pretty well, even though I have not played like most of the Guilty Gear games. And even the ones that I did play, I clearly don't remember well, so...
I'm not going to claim that we're going to remember every single detail of things that have happened, but
I can never claim that.
I'm fairly certain that at this point we have a general gist of like where all the characters are and how they connect with each other. So that'll make for a much more interesting playthrough of the Guilty Gear Strive story, which we'll be doing next, for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've never played a fighting game before, so I don't really know what to expect going into the story mode there. And, well, Serbi's probably going to be starting at a base level, just like I am. Hopefully we'll get better at the game along with each other.
Definitely. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. If you guys made it to the end of this video and watched the entire series, thank you so much. We hope you guys enjoyed seeing us learn about the lore as much as we enjoyed learning about the lore. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Later, dudes.
Bye-bye.